reflecting on the gospel today and that visit of of Mary to Elizabeth, I remembered a priest, a retired priest, that whenever we finished our dinner or meals, he would he would always shout with joy, "Thank you for your visit. Thank you for your visit." My dear friends, this season of this Advent, this last Sunday of Advent, we see a lot of decorations now in the church, at home. We decorate because we realize that during time of Christmas is a time that we are being visited by families. Families are being reunited during this season. I know that some of our, companions here in the community are traveling far to be with the members of the family who are not here in our locality. And maybe some of us, members of the family, arrive already to be with us, to be with the family for the celebration of Christmas. And there is always joy when we come together again. When we come together and be reunited and remember all those, good things that we shared as people. Friends and family and organizations, and even in our churches, we usually come together and have meals. And it's always good, to be reunited with all the acquaintances. And also in the celebrations that we have in the church, we visit the church, and just this week, we had our sacrament of reconciliation as a church, as a community. And it's always good, to come together and gather and see one another and receive the sacraments. So my dear friends, we realize that when we visit, we realize that presence of one another is really different. And that is the reason why for the past years that we have the pandemic, it's very hard. Because sometimes we miss the presence of each one. And I know that in the previous Christmas that we had, there are many were not allowed to travel because of the protocols that we have to observe. And it's very hard. It should be the most joyful, a part of the year, but then it's very hard to travel and to be with others. But now, we are here, but of course, with all the necessary safety that we have to observe, we try to gather as people and to be with each particular family. It's really different when we see each other just before the Mass, and we greet each other. We greet each other and we welcome each other, and it gives different kind of joy in one's heart. In our gospel today, we heard how Mary, who was pregnant with Jesus at that time, visited Elizabeth was also carrying John the Baptist. And this visit brought joy, especially to Elizabeth and John, who was still in the womb of Elizabeth. And we heard that John the Baptist leaped for joy when that happened, when that visit happened. So as we reflect on that very joyful reunion with this family, it's also good to reflect and to see ourselves as Saint John the Baptist leaped for joy, even inside the womb of Elizabeth. We ask ourselves, what makes us leap for joy? What makes us still leap for joy? And I think this is very important in life, that I hope that we don't lose the joy of life as we continue our lives in this world. And I think this is the message of Christmas too. We remember with joy the good Lord who visited us, who stayed with us, and lived with us. There is celebration because the God who was out there in the Old Testament came physically present with them. And those who recognize His presence leap for joy. My dear friends, our good Lord may not be physically present among us in this world nowadays, but as followers of the Lord, we have the Lord who is with us, the Emmanuel, and that will cause us joy. And as followers of the Lord, we carry Him with us, so that when we visit one another, especially this season of Christmas, this wonderful season, we bring and share the peace of the Lord who is with us and among us. And when we have the Lord, I know that despite everything, despite maybe other things, the trials that we are having in our lives, there is cause for deeper joy, because our good Lord, because of the hope of that good Lord who came into this world, who assured us of His love, who assured us of salvation, who assured us of His presence when He came into the world. My dear friends, where there is Lord, there is peace and joy. As followers of the Lord, we are called to be bearers of joy. We are called to be bearers of God's joy.